Oh yeah, we're live. Welcome. Welcome to the live. I am still feeling a bit rough, but better today. Much better. Um, yes, we're going to have a bit of a chat now about journaling and what it does for you in terms of personal development, in particular, developing our character. It's a very stoic thing, character development. Um, all the Stoics, you might have seen it, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, all these sort of Epictetus, all look to develop their character, which I think is a really good way of describing it. Also, my cousin Matt, he's a comic artist, very creative and smart guy. He always uh, talks about character development. This kind of character development thing is uh, developing the archetype, which is good because I think it's a good aim. It's a good place to aim at. I'm holding my microphone a bit different, so I don't know how the audio is. Hopefully, it's good. So let's just have a little look at why journaling helps with this. I think first, if you use a journal correctly, it exposes a lot of things. The best thing you can do, I did a video on like security of the journal and honesty. So I've got this my old one, which is fully filled out, right to the end. And at the back, I've wrote all the things that I've achieved and documented. Because if you think about the journal, it's a document of truth, and it says a lot about your character. So the other thing I've wrote some notes down here. I've got some talking points, and then down below, I've put them in the description. The first one is how journaling exposes self-deception. Right, kind of ties into the second to last point. Habits, not words, define who you are. So it exposes self-deception um, because it's a record of truth. It's writing down what actually happened, and that means you can use words to describe anything and tell yourself anything and say, this person. This is the type of person that I am, because I think we do have a tendency to lie about our bad habits and our bad behaviours. Everyone's got bad behaviours, and we don't want to be truthful about them, so we conceal them and tell other people that we are another way. Some people wear a mask, they pretend to be a very good person, but deep down they might not be. And if you use your journal correctly, you're going to write down all the things that you've done that you're not proud of, particularly at the bottom. You've always got these sections in my journal and other journals, it's similar. How can I improve? I think that last bit, that self-correction at night, where you might tell yourself off for something that you've done in that day that you're not proud of. Maybe it's a bad habit, or you treat someone very badly or something like this. It's important to write that down and be honest. So if you use a journal correctly, it exposes that kind of self-deception where you might be putting on a certain front or a mask to the outside world, to other people, but deep down you might be very um, insecure and have some bad habits. And we've all got demons, right? We've all got behaviours that we're. Oh, is that changing every time I move it? Behaviours that we might not be fully proud of. I might just move this microphone to somewhere better, like. Oh no, it's okay there. Just zip my top up so it doesn't fall. And then the second talking point is about consistency. So consistency is how all results are achieved. And the journal will reveal that, what consistency looks like, or the lack of it, and then what that says about your character. You know, so if you're using it correctly, your journal, and you're recording down what you do, and you're consistent in what you do, in terms of setting intentions and taking action, then you're going to see the truth there, whether you are consistent or not. It's very, very powerful. And the third talking point is about the gap between intention and action. This is, you can have intentions, goals, I want to do this. But unless you're taking action, it doesn't really matter. And if you use your journal correctly, that's where, again, firstly, setting intent in the morning. So I've just done it this morning. I've wrote down the 3 things that I'm going to do today, which is setting intention, right? And I look back on the previous day, and I set intentions for 3 things, and I only did 2 of them. It was a Saturday, right? So I'm not going to beat myself up. But down at the bottom, I recorded another win, which kind of cancels that out. So there you go. So we set intentions, and it's important that we use our journal as a little accountability buddy to help us do those things in the day. Because that sort of level of consistency there, you want to close that gap between intention and action. It should match. It's like every goal, everything that you want to achieve has 2 parts to it. It has the intention, like the vision, you know, what you want to do, the focus, which is a mental thing. You've got to focus on what you want, and then aligned action. And when them 2 come together, that's when you get a result, yeah? So intention and action have to close the gap. You have to do what you say you're going to do. And then the next talking point is why your journal becomes a record of truth over time. Hello, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. So it's a record of truth over time. I've said this many times. When you read these things back, I do, keep them all for years. And when you read these things back, because the information that you write in a journal, pen to paper, most fantastic way to do it. Not a digital journal. You want to write it pen to paper, because it really sinks in the brain, you know, when you're setting your intentions. And then when you read these back at the end, because it's caught in the moment, you're writing the information in the moment at that time, it's the most accurate reflection of what happened on any given day. And it's also the most accurate reflection of habits, what you've done, what you've achieved. The bottom section where you're reflecting on the day, what your performance, where you could improve. This is the most accurate reflection of where you was in that given moment, because when you think down the line, you know, in even 6 months, a year, it's difficult to remember exactly what you did on a given day. Our memories, they're more like pictures than words. They're more like images, like little movies. So we store memories as images. And we don't always store all the detail. Well, the journal will record all that detail. And this is what I mean. It becomes a massive, it's a document of truth over time. And you can see all the correction in, this is how you get rid of bad habits. Writing them down and reflecting on it at night is huge for character development. It becomes that document of truth. The next talking point, habits, not words. What am I reading? Oh, just my journal. That's my last journal. And this is my current one. So that's filled out. And then this is my current one. So it's just my journal. that I use every day to, you know, set my intentions and go and achieve what I want to achieve. So this talking point, habits, not words, define who you are. Very important. I think this is the intention and action thing. You can, you know, pretend to be this good, solid human being, you know, that's working hard and, you know, working on yourself, and you can pretend to be this and tell others. But it really comes down to the daily habits of who you are. It's what you do. So you can say anything, but it's what you do on a day-to-day basis that matters. Yeah. Sorry, I just said to the other person, thank you, I'm just reading my journal. So the journal is, oh, do you mean what reading book am I reading at the minute? Still studying a bit of jiu-jitsu. This one, jiu-jitsu, guerrilla jiu-jitsu. So yeah, the final talking point is journaling really is for self-reflection, right? It's that. It's documenting your intentions, recording your actions, how you could improve, and it becomes a record of truth, which is very powerful over time. The more that you fill out of these things, more journals that you collect over your life, the more you can reflect back. It is amazing if you think even 2-3 years back how different you were thinking. And I think the two, you think about the best habits, I've said this before, what are the best habits? Well, obviously things like working out, exercise, improving your diet are really good habits, reading. But the two that I would say that are universal, reading and writing. Reading for knowledge, writing like in a journal for personal development, character development, reflection, self-reflection. Them two. That's why I do it every day. I sit here, do my journal, do some reading, and I think if you just do that, they're the best two habits. 2-3 years down the line, you've just become a different person. It is so powerful. And that is it. I mean, if obviously when you start journaling, this is very powerful. But if you haven't done it before, a good way, obviously you just start journaling, right? And then you'll not look back. You've got to build the habit. It's like any habit. Just journal every day, and you end up with that record of truth. Now, to backfill the rest of your life, which is before you started journaling, it's quite hard to post-rationalise your past in a journal, because if you think, oh, I'm going to write down everything that up to date so that when I journal I've got everything going forwards, you're likely to rewrite the past based on where you currently are, because this is what we do. So a good thing that let me just get rid of that notification. Yeah, I'm outside, yeah. Of course, yeah, I'm outside in the garden. It's quite chilly. So a good thing that you could do to document the past is Jordan Peterson's self-authoring. The past authoring is really good at doing that. It's not nowhere near as accurate as journaling. Nowhere near. Nothing compares to the accuracy of journaling, but it is quite good because you can learn a lot from it in terms of who you are and your character. But going forward, I don't think there's anything better than journaling. And I do, when I look through, even everything I set at the start, all the goals, when you're ticking things off, it's really addictive. But everything I've ever achieved is documented in these things. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at this one. So I started this one at the start of this year. So we're getting towards the end of the year in a few days. And I'll have filled out this one, all the wins. And there's some massive things that I had to achieve here. And one of them, obviously I've got two businesses, so one of them was my primary business, which is basically paying for everything, right? It's the thing that I'm most grateful about, that I've got that business, and I've had it for many years now, and it's basically given me everything that I wanted. So it's important that, sorry, I'm a bit ill. It's important that I don't neglect it and stabilise it. So that was my main goal, and it's been achieved. And another goal is to start the new business, the Goal Achievement Hub business, which is selling the journals. And yeah, that's been really hard this year, but we're in December and the sales are really good in December. It's clear that this product sells better for Christmas and New Year. That's the sales time. I mean, it sells all year. Another time is Father's Day was very good. So these key events in the year, and just learning about e-commerce, sales, what a massive skill. So that's just this year. Just this year. Other things as well, whether in your fitness and stuff like this, which I've managed to do, and also stay consistent with my habits. And I think all that's recorded in the journal. So yeah, one of the best things you can do for character development, it's freezing, is to write it down in a journal. Yeah. All right, thanks for listening. By the way, I'm going to plug it now. You can still get one delivered for Christmas if you order today on the website. If you're on Amazon, if you've got Prime, I think you've got another couple of days because you've got Prime delivery, next day. But if you order from the website today, goalachievementhub.com, you'll get it before Christmas. If you're in the EU, it's on 3 to 5 days tracked. But UK is track 48, so it's still possible. If you're on Amazon, you got Prime, you get next day delivery. All right, go and get one ordered. Also, any questions on the topic, the two biggest habits, reading and writing every day? But you want to compound these things. Read and write. I've got questions. Am I sat outside? Yes. Do you know why? You want to be sat outside. I think it's cold, but it's worth doing. Circadian rhythm, getting some daylight. It's really good for your mood, your health. I just think it's fantastic. So you want to get some really good habits, just 5 or 6 really good habits that are universal, and compound them all together. So yeah, eating really well. Go and check out my diet plan, andyholt.co.uk. Go to resources, diet plans and recipes. Diet, train. I've done some videos on simplifying your training split, your workouts, exercise, read, write in a notebook or a journal. Read every day. Get good sleep. These are basic things that we need. Get some circadian rhythm in the morning. Have a routine. And everything becomes easier, I think. Okay, thanks for listening. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe. See you all next time.